to my channel or welcome back. I'm Maryam and today it's Faves X Fails time for the month of June. This is my roundup video that I conduct every month in which I talk about makeup and beauty products that worked for me, apply them to the face so that I can show you why they worked for me and not just tell you. Also, I talk about my fails for the month, and those are products that did not work for me. I talk about the prices, ingredients, comparisons, basically give you the whole scoop. This is your cheat sheet video that apparently you guys love because I can tell, I see you. I love creating these videos for you. It's fun for me and I'm going to continue doing so. And with that said, remember to subscribe if you aren't already and hit that notification bell so you can see all of my Wednesdays and Sundays videos. And now let's get into this one. Faves X Fails for the month of June, filmed in July. Let's hit it. As always, I come prepared. So let's talk about some primers this month that I did not love. There was actually this Makeup Geek Skin Elixir, an $18 pink looking liquid that I tried in like 2 videos ago. I don't have it handy right now. Of course I don't. How convenient. I'll pop it up right here. Did I love this one or did I not love this one? I didn't love it. The reason being is because this was literally a pinky toned skin elixir. And for someone like me who has some pink, red, purple, dark spots on my face, who has some redness and irritation, that's unnatural, that's not my actual skin tone, I don't want to emphasize that by adding more pinkiness on top. So the pinky elixir is something that would probably work for those of you with very sallow skin tones, like very yellow or perhaps even olive. But if you have any type of redness, even within your olive skin tone, I would stay away from this one. But the ingredients are nice and it was only $18, so kind of sad that it didn't work for me. Kind of sad that I have this redness and irritation and discoloration issue. Moving right along. Today I'm actually not going to use a primer. Shocker, I know. Because today for my primer slash foundation, I'm going to be using my favorite foundation for the month, which is by Dr. Gio, a black-owned K-beauty brand that specializes in cushion foundations for people of color and deeper skin tones. So this is very, very exciting. I love this one. The ingredients in this are incredible. I talked about it extensively in my last testing out new makeup video. You guys were all very interested in this one. Cat hair. Don't disrupt. You guys were all very interested in this one. I am very interested as well. I've been using it every day since I discovered it, and I'm a fan. Because this is a new line, they only have 6 shades, but the 6 shades are evenly spread out between light medium, like myself, to very deep. And that, I think, is something to be noted and something to be applauded. This is the first time that it's ever been done, you guys. Dipping my sponge into the cushion. The shade that I use is DG01 Aisha, so it's the lightest shade that they currently have. And when I glide it across my pore zones, I can almost see it closing up my pores, which is very, very satisfying for someone like myself. I love the fact that this shade is a really, really good match to my neck, which is my natural, unaltered skin tone. The coverage on this is pretty full, which is why I don't necessarily like to use a primer underneath. I find that with a primer, it almost becomes a little too makeup-y looking, but on its own, it really has this beautiful, very natural, but flawless skin finish, which is what I love, which is what we all love and want. Now, this is a $35 product, but considering the ingredients, I think it's absolutely worth it. Apparently, you can also use this as a concealer. I'm not going to do that today, but I do like the precise applicator, which allows me to go around my brows and around some of the detail areas. Now, I've worn this product already about 5 or 6 times, so I find that the best way to sheer it out is actually with a brush. So once you've applied it onto your face, you can kind of just go over and buff out the areas that are looking a little too heavy, like a little too much. So for me, looking just a little too makeup-y right here around the mouth, maybe also perhaps around the nose, around the brows. And so I just like to take my regular foundation brush. This one is IT Cosmetics. Love is the foundation brush. And I just go over everything very quickly. You don't have to do this, but again, with the sponge, it picks up a lot of product, and once you stamp it on, it looks like a little too much product. But still an amazing product, a fave for the month for me. Alright, so in the same price category, we have a failed product for the month for me, and it is, sadly, Huda Beauty's Glowish Multi-Dew Skin Tint. This did not work for me. This was one of the absolute worst formulations for my skin type. Because I'm oily AF, because I have some texture, some enlarged pores, because I have some bumps, acne breakouts, lots of different concerns with my skin. This was just far too luminous. This made my skin look like it was aggravated. All of my problem areas were suddenly enhanced. And mind you, I tried this out on a good skin day when I was having barely any breakouts. And still, this just did nothing for me. It was so metallic looking. It was so shiny. It made me look oilier than before. It was a sad day in makeup for me that day. I mean, if you don't believe me, you can watch my wear test and my review of this product. But this, for $37, was just not it for me. Very much a fail, and a big fail with a capital F. Sorry, Huda. Moving right along, for concealer this month, I don't have anything new that I love. I'm still obsessing over and raving about my Fenty Beauty Bright Fix that I love so much. I actually have not tried with this cushion foundation because I've been using the cushion foundation as a concealer, but again, I told you that it's a little too much. This is my favorite because it's so easy to use, because it's so effortless. It looks so natural on the skin. Right now I'm using shade Melon 06, but I'm probably gonna need a deep melon once the summertime really hits. Believe it or not, I still have not yet been to the beach. It's very upsetting to me. I'm a beach bum and I want to practice my beach bumminess. But yeah, so I'm still at my winter palest, which is why I'm still using melon. I don't want to sound like a broken record. I feel like I've said this so many times, but the best way to apply this particular eye brightener or concealer is with your fingertips. I don't really like how it applies with a brush. It becomes a little too streaky, but with your fingers, it's just magic. I mean, it looks so pretty and so natural. I love this product. I repeat, I love this product so much. Also, just FYI, all the products that I'm loving, all of my fave products from these videos, I list in the description below, and I also link them. I add my affiliate links to these, so if you do make a purchase from these links, know that I receive a very tiny, minuscule commission from your purchase. You absolutely do not have to purchase from my links. You already know that. But if you want to, you can. That's your way of supporting this channel. Moving right along. In the concealer category, it literally says here, nothing that I hated. I guess apparently I didn't hate any concealers this month, but all the ones that I tried weren't good enough to beat last month's Fenty Beauty Bright Fix, so that's the story with that. All right, let's move on to some translucent powders. Specifically, going to use it for the under eye area, but I'm not going to set the rest of my face because I do have some blushes. Specifically, I have some cream blushes to test out. But anyway, back to the translucent setting powders. This month, I'm loving this PIXI H2O Skinveil powder in the shade Translucent. This one is really, really nice. It's kind of pricey for a PIXI powder that contains this little product. It's $24. Kind of was hoping it would be like in the $18 range, perhaps 20 at the most, but 24 is still doable, you know? I like it because this is extremely, extremely smoothing, and it has just this beautiful finish, very natural, very skin-like, but also very effective. It's funny that they called it an H2O setting powder because it almost feels like water. Water. I should get the swatch model to come over and tell you how he says water. It's really funny. But yeah, the reason why it feels like water is because it's water-based and it doesn't feel like a talc-y. It doesn't feel like that powdery finish. It just feels very light and very pleasant. Also, I find that this is a very texture perfecting formula, so I like to use it around my nose too, around these open pores here, just like that, very lightly. I'm not gonna use it all over because for that I have something else that I love. But first I'm gonna set this aside and I'm going to reach for, well, the next category, which is blushes. This month, I'm loving a lot of blushes. I feel like right now it is the era of cream blushes. Blushes are in, everyone is launching blushes, from blush palettes to cream blushes to sticks to all sorts of blush variations, and I'm loving it all, I gotta say. In no particular order, but there is an order actually. There's actually an order. This month, I am loving several blushes. Well, first of all, I am really loving the powder blushes from Makeup by Mario. These are really, really lovely, very fresh shades. These are $24 each, I believe. He also has cream stick powders. Those are $28. I'm not loving those as much as the powder version, but they're good as well. Also in the cream blush category, I am loving this PIXI On The Glow blush, specifically this shade Juicy. It's just so lovely. It works over powder, it works under powder. It's great. It looks like deodorant. It rolls out. The shades are so pretty. They look like sorbet. It's viral on TikTok. You can't go wrong. Also, I am loving Dominique Cosmetics cream blush. This one is another winner. I believe this is what, $22? The shade Warm Peach is my favorite because I just really like peachy shades for every day, and then I like pinky shades for, say, night, or maybe for a little bit more of a pop on my skin tone. But this one's great. It also works under powder or over powder, though I wouldn't necessarily recommend to use it over powder. It's a little nerve-wracking to blend out, but it will still blend out if you're extremely careful. Since we're going in order of all the blushes that I'm loving this month, I guess let's get to the number one blush that I'm loving this month, and it goes to JACLYN Cosmetics Cream to Powder Blush Sticks. These are incredible, you guys, and they're incredible because they have this unique capacity to glide on like a cream and then blend out and set like a powder. So this is ideal for someone like myself who's very oily. It's perfect under foundation. It works over foundation. It's just a dream formula. I love it. So now this one is also $22. There's 4 shades altogether, and I love them all. So today I'm gonna go for a pinkier one just because I have this bluish, lavenderish shirt going. So I'm just gonna add this beautiful pop in color to my cheek like that, and then I'm gonna blend it out. This one is Empress. I'm just gonna use this Too Faced brush to blend it out. Beautiful, very fresh, very youthful, gives you that nice hint of color, but you could still see it on the skin. It's not washed out. It's just right. I am a fan. So now if you're more on the dry side, this may be a little too drying for you, in which case I would recommend the Mario blush, cream blush that is, because that one has a lot more of a balmy texture. But for me, this is ideal. I mean, just look at that color. It's so cute. These are faves with a capital A. Also, I gotta say, I'm loving JACLYN's Rouge Romance powder blush palettes. The pinky one is stunning. The coral one is stunning as well. These are $45 each. I believe they're already sold out on her website. But keep glued because I feel like this was a really nice launch. All right, so that's pretty much it for the blushes. I don't have failed blushes for the month just because everything I tried, I really liked. Now time for the face powder that I wanted to use all over the face. I have recently discovered, and I've been loving, the Bare Minerals Original Mineral Veil in the shade Sheer Medium. I tried it in the shade Translucent, and I don't love it as much as the color version. This one I think is really, really great. It's microfine. It's not really gonna give you that powdery feel, but it's going to set your dewy foundation, or it's going to set your more luminous coverage while still allowing the dew to shine through, hence why it's called a veil. This, I think, is a powder that looks really great in real life as opposed to studio lights, although it looks fine in studio lights, but in real life, it's virtually undetectable, but you can definitely see a difference in your skin before and after applying it. I used it in my previous video, which, by the way, thank you guys so much for receiving it so well. I created a new series here for my YouTube channel called Makeup for Real Life, in which I wanted to create looks, makeup tutorials for various real life situations. So the first one was a tutorial for summer 2021, so you could look your best in real light. And I used this mineral veil over the Bare Minerals tinted gel cream. I feel like it was just a beautiful mwah, chef's kiss type of combo. I'm gonna keep using this because this is amazing. A fave, again, with a capital A. And it works with this Dr. Gio Cushion Foundation. It doesn't make it look cakey or makeup-y. It still kind of maintains that natural looking skin finish. Getting very excited. I don't know why. I get like so excited in these videos lately. I think it's because I'm a true extrovert, and sometimes talking to the camera doesn't have the same effect as if I'm talking to a group of people, which I love to do. I am that person who wants to go on stage in front of like 30,000 people and I want to talk to them all. That's me. For me, talking to the camera is a lot harder than talking to people in real life. But anyway, that's the reason why I sometimes get a little flustered. I sometimes get like hives and patches all over my neck. I don't know. That's just my weird little quirk. Moving along to the brows. The brows, my favorite category. Okay, so shall we talk about some fails first? Let's. This month, I'm not loving this Jason Woo Brow Everlasting Love Brow Gel. This was really weird for me. First of all, the applicator is a brush. The product itself looks like it should be applied to the lips, but it feels like a brow color. It is extremely thick and heavy, not very user-friendly. I didn't really understand how to use it. It dries down kind of matte, so that I liked, but not enough for me to want to reach for it again. This, I believe you can get for like $14 at Target, so it's not super expensive, but it's not super great, so I don't really see the point. I'm also not loving the Makeup Forever brow gel that with the tiny little brush. The brush is cute, but again, too thick of a formulation. I'm not really sure what we're trying to do here. Nothing that really excited me. This L'Oreal Unbelieva Brow was another stupid product with an even stupider name. Unbelieva Brow, like come on, how cringy is that? I'm just not into it. But if I could, for a second, step outside of my brow preferences, I will say that I did like the Makeup Forever Aqua Resist Brow Definer Pencil. This one is microfine, like the ABH Brow Wiz or the Benefit Precisely My Brow. I also like the One Size Brow Kiki, essentially the same product, but the shades were nice. So I guess what I'll do is apply the Aqua Resist to this side, the Brow Kiki to this side. And although it's not my favorite, it's not my preferred brow product or method, it was good enough. Just gonna add a bit of strokes and definition to this brow that I already glued down with my Benefit 24-hour brow setter. Go over the shape, add the color wherever I'm feeling a little sparse, like that. Extend the brow, add a little more color. It's fine. I'm not even gonna brush it out. I'm just gonna leave it as is. Let's do the same thing here. So dark brown is the shade that I'm using in the Brow Kiki by One Size. Has just a nice cooler undertone. I will say it's almost identical to the Aqua Resist by Makeup Forever, which is in medium brown. The difference is undetectable. So yeah, these were faves for the month in the brow category, but they were only faves because my fails were so epic. I didn't love any of those brow gels. They were just so hideous and so difficult to use. Moving along to some palettes. So this month, I don't have any failed palettes. I have 4 palettes that I love, and I'll tell you what they are in the order in which I love them. In the number 4 slot is the Live With Love palette by Morphe. This was created just in time for Pride. It's just a beautiful, colorful palette, but it also has some neutral shades, and it has some nice sparkly shades. So I will say this is a good everything palette, not just color, but also good for every day. It's 20 bucks. I mean, you can't go wrong. In the number 3 slot, I have Lunar Beauty Life's a Drag Facelift palette, which is kind of like the more expensive version of the Morphe Live With Love, but I will say it's different. This one is equal parts colorful and neutral, and it has unique shimmers in the center. So this is more of an everything palette than the Morphe. You can literally just use this for every day, or you can use this for a pop of color, or you can just use this and create a crazy rainbow look. Whatever you want, you can do it. Also, the quality on these is really, really nice. This is a $48 palette. I like it, and I'm gonna keep using it. In the number 2 slot, we have the Laura Lee X Erin Weaver Candy Skies palette. This one is going so well with my theme today. I love it because it's just so happy. The colors are very inviting. The palette smells really nice too. I love pastels. I love pastels for the summer specifically just because they make me feel happy. I look at these colors and they make me smile, and I want to dip into them, and I want to create fun TikToks with this palette. That's just how it makes me feel. This is a $45 palette. Again, the quality is really nice, and I'm a fan. And in the number 1 slot is this beauty right here. OTRERA Beauty by Sana. Sanana's here on YouTube, and this one is called The Beginning Palette. So this one is a tri-fold palette with a mirror and 2 beautiful panels of eyeshadows. These eyeshadows are superb. These are incredible quality, you guys. This palette is made in Italy, and we all know where the best eyeshadow palettes are made. Yup, they are made in Italy, so this quality is that kind of quality. Now, this is a bit on the pricey side. This is a $40 €49 palette. So I believe that's like $58 to $60 US, something like that. So it's pricier, but the quality, you guys, the quality is just so good. Also, I think the mold is so cute. I love the fact that it's so compact, but there's so much variety in there. Also, it has this cute little band so that you can easily attach it to your hand and do your makeup, so you don't have to actually hold and grip it with your hands. That was smart. I like all of that. Also, in this launch, they also created some eyeshadow primers, so that is what I'm gonna use today. It was a good one. I can't complain about it. Not saying it's a fave. I haven't actually given it enough tries, but I'll try it today again, and I'll see how it feels. Now this primer actually comes in 5 shades. I'm gonna blend that out with a brush. First, I'm gonna get this cat hair out of my eyelash. If you guys follow me on the gram and if you watch my IG stories on the daily, then you already know why there's cat hair on all my brushes. And for those of you who don't know, allow me to plug this shameless, cute video of my cat Bo. Isn't he the cutest? I know. I gotta say, this eye base is pretty nice. Alright, so for today, I think I'm gonna use just a mixture of all of these palettes. I really wanna go for something pastel-y that matches my top, which is actually a set with a skirt. But yeah, I'm gonna reach for this gorgeous lavender here, and also maybe a blue from the Laura Lee Los Angeles palette. I don't know, I just wanna create something fun on my eyes today, but easy. Fun, but easy, because I don't like overdoing anything lately. Everything needs to be in moderation. I'm taking this big Mario brush E3. I am plopping that straight to my lids. You see that pigment payoff? That is what I'm talking about. Okay, I really added that lavender shade all over my lids, kind of like Kermit-like almost, but now is when I'm gonna blend out those edges. I'm gonna use the same brush, but just the tip of it, and buff out those edges so it doesn't look so Kermit-like anymore. So it looks a little bit more washed out and just a little bit more wearable. Like so. Yes. Next, I'm gonna go for that sky blue. I'm gonna grab this Laura Mercier eye crease brush, grab that sky blue from the Candy Skies palette. Start in the center and then just go over the borders. Just cooling it down a bit, making it a little bit more sky-like, and just blending that out, like so. Easy. And a pinch more over here. Oh, I love it. It's so cute. And now I'm just gonna go back with that lavender and overlap that because I still want that lavender to be the main shade. Cute, 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 cute. A bit on the lower lash line as well, just for fun. Next, Life's a Drag. I'm thinking, let's go for this shade here called Full Fantasy. This one is so sparkly and unique. It's just like very, very sparkly white that I'm gonna grab on this Sigma pencil brush, and I'm gonna stamp that to the inner corner. Look how bright that is. I think that's what makes the Lunar Beauty palette just a little bit more unique, is that it has these very unique, almost like Pat McGrath-like finishes with the shimmery powders, and that was so necessary. I needed that. And then I'm gonna go back to the beginning palette, and I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this shade here. This one's called Sonita. And this is just like a really unique pinky lavender shimmery shade. I'm actually gonna add that to the very inner corner, almost to the tear duct, just to kind of make the white and the lavender meet like that. It's a small move, but it's a move that makes sense. All right, one more shade. I'm gonna reach for the Morphe, and I'm gonna go for this Show Compassion grapey purple shade. We get a clean brush here. This is Motive's Precision Crease. Grabbing a little bit of that Show Compassion shade. And with my eyes open, I'm just gonna darken this corner here and connect it to my outer corner. And then just bring that in gently and buff that out. So again, a subtle move, but for me it makes sense. Okay, so this is really easy to overdo. So I'm just gonna stop myself right there because then it's gonna become a completely different look. No longer lavender and no longer pastel-y, but it's just gonna become a very colorful, very vibrant look. So I'm gonna quickly take that first brush that I used, the Mario one, and just buff that out because I literally do not want it to become a purple, grapey, really bright, crazy look. I still want it to be very soft and very wearable. All right, I think that did it. That makes me feel good. So in terms of palettes that I didn't really love this month, I guess there's really only one palette, and it's not an eyeshadow palette per se, it's a face palette from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Instant Look of Love in a palette in Pretty Blushed Beauty. 3 eyeshadow and 4 face pan palette. I didn't love the eyeshadows in this palette because they were just not good enough. Overall, I thought this palette was way overpriced at $75, and third reason why I didn't love this palette is because of the tiny eyeshadow sized pans for cheek and for highlight. I would totally reconfigure this whole palette. I would get rid of 2 eyeshadows, honestly, and I would make one cheek the size of the face powder or the bronzer, and same thing with the highlighter, and I would just keep like one unique eyeshadow. But to keep this to only use for the face products, kind of a waste of money in my opinion. But the quality of the face powders in that palette is really, really good. It's not like a complete fail, just a fail specifically for the eyeshadows. Let's move on to a liner that you all seemed to love from my testing new drugstore versus high-end makeup video. Again, if you follow me on Instagram, you already know I did a half face all drugstore, another half face all high end, and I posted a quick little video asking you guys to guess which side is which, and a lot of people, I think actually most of the guesses were wrong. The majority of the guesses were wrong because of this eyeliner. Everyone thought this was the high end side because the eyeliner looked so good. In fact, it was the drugstore eyeliner that performed so good, and it is the Physicians Formula Matte Monoi Butter Eyeliner. This one is $9 to $11. You can get it at various retailers, and it's really good quality. It's a matte black. I love the fact that it's a dippy liner. It has a brush, so that's my favorite type of liner. And today I'm gonna use it. Very soft, buttery-like application. Dries down matte, and that we love. Easy to create a very precise wing. I really like it. I feel like that is a really good everyday solid wing. It's not taking away from the eyeshadow too much. It's still very clean, crisp, dresses up the eye, meaning it's not easy to mess up. Okay, cute. All right, I'm gonna curl my lashes real quick. All right, so for my mascaras today, I have a couple of failed mascaras and just one fave. And the fave is actually an all-time fave, so I might just tell you about it right now. I really love the Essence Lash Princess Waterproof Mascara. This one is $4 and it is incredible. Such a great formulation. Just makes my lashes look amazing, and I'm a big fan. Doesn't smudge on me whatsoever. It's just good. It's just great. But the 2 mascaras that I really did not love as much as, let me just tell you what they are. This month I'm not loving the Laura Mercier Caviar Volume $25 mascara. This has a really shitty wand. It's almost like a scary wand. It's got this crazy gimmicky twist to it that I didn't really get. It didn't work on my lashes. It didn't give them volume. It didn't give them length. It didn't really do much for them anyway. And I really do attribute that to those innovative-ish wands. I'm not a fan of those. I feel like the simplest wand is always the best. Just give me a simple motherfucking wand. Excuse me. Speaking of simple wands, but this just might be a little too simple, I also did not love the Maybelline Sky High Mascara. This was a gimmick. It did not give me sky high lashes at all. TikTok, you steered me wrong. And obviously, it steered a lot of people wrong because I walked into Target the other day and there were shelves of this and nobody was buying it. It was just there for $11, which is its retail price. I guess people got sick and tired of it. This wand is that plastic type of wand with really short bristles, so this also doesn't really work for me. The formula of this is okay. It's definitely better than the Laura Mercier, but does it really lengthen? I mean, perhaps if you already have really nice long lashes, but for someone like me, it does nothing. So I'm gonna stick to what works. I mean, the fact that you could see my lashes and I'm wearing a pretty thick eyeliner is saying something, because usually if I want my natural lashes to be seen, I absolutely cannot wear liner because it covers them. But you know what? If it works for me, if it works for my really short, straight lashes, imagine how it will work for you with your normal or with your long or with your curly lashes. Imagine that. Okay, bronzer time. I'm loving 2 bronzers this month, and they're very different. One is the Makeup by Mario bronzer. This is called the Soft Sculpt bronzer in the shade Light Medium. That's the one that I use. It's very natural, very light, very believable. I like it a lot because it's perfect for those less is more days. Can definitely add that definition that you're seeking without going overboard. I believe this is a $28 product. I just love how light and buildable and easy it is. It makes me feel really good and very natural. Like I'm not wearing a heavy contour or anything like that, but it definitely helps to pop out my features. Now another bronzer that I'm loving is actually the Huda Beauty Glowish. This one is great, $31. It's got that unique swirl formulation. but the finish here is really unique. It's almost like a creamy, powdery finish because it's got that cushion. But this I really love because it actually hugs the skin. And it's also a little bit more pigmented than the Mario, so you can definitely use it for those glam nights or if you really want a bronzed up look. I like both. I feel like there's a time and place for both. And I keep using both. Sometimes I use them together, like today in this video. Sometimes I use them separately, but I really like them. I feel like the Dr. Geo cushion oxidizes like a pinch too light for me, or at least a pinch too light for my liking. With this product, I need to bronze up a little more, at least like on the larger areas of my face, like the jawline. So I take this big Supreme Finisher brush from Bare Minerals, and I kind of just go over everything. You see, that just adds a little bit more color to my whole complexion. It brings everything together. Love that one. I wasn't a huge fan of the Physicians Formula Matte Monoi Butter Bronzer. This was barely there, but it was too barely there. It just was not there at all. I didn't really see a difference. I felt like I needed to scrape the top of the pan in order to get any sort of color payoff. Also, the color itself was just a little meh. It was just a little too light. Also very, very fragrant for those of you who don't like fragrances in your makeup. I personally don't mind it, but there's just a lot of things that didn't really hit right with me. Not a fave, but it's $11, so if you're very, very fair and if you're just starting out with bronzers, this might be a good bet. In the highlighter category, I finally found a highlighter that is good enough to be in my faves list this month. I'm talking about the Laura Mercier Rose Glow Highlighter. This one is delicious. It's so beautiful. It's rosy, but then it also has this nice opalescence to it. It's just so stunning. I'm gonna use this JACLYN Cosmetics brush, pick up a little bit and add that to the back of my cheekbone. Do you see how pigmented and how stunning it is? And then brush it back, add a little bit along that temple area. It's dewy. It feels like a rose petal after the rain. I don't know, something about it is very romantic, and it's also very pretty on the skin. It doesn't emphasize any funky texture. It's light, but it's very effective. I have some breakouts here, so I'm actually gonna avoid that, but you get it. This is a lovely highlighter. And I haven't actually found a highlighter that is that special in a really long time. Kudos to Laura Mercier. This is $30, by the way. But I've also seen it for $29, so like $29, $30. Okay, next for the lips. I'm loving this CARLI BYBEL X Il Maquillage lip liner. It's waterproof, actually. Waterproof lip liner in the shade AI. I use this one all the time, so it always needs to be sharpened. I like that it's a very natural nudie shade, not really too pinky. And because it's so neutral, it just works for so many different lip colors. Also, the pencil itself is very, very creamy, so you could just wear it alone. This is $17. And I like it a lot. Okay, my favorite lip product for the month. Oh man, I almost didn't want to give it to them, but I'm gonna have to give it to them. I really like the Lifter Gloss from Maybelline. This is a really nice product. I felt like they were kind of coming for the Fenty Gloss Bomb with this specific color, shade Moon 003. Also, the wand is very reminiscent of the Fenty Gloss Bomb. The original shade is what I'm talking about. But this one has just a little bit more sparkle. Look at that. And it gives your lips that dressed up feeling without actually wearing, say, a red or a really bright lip color. Just gives them a really pretty glaze, and I think this shade is really great, not just for the daytime, but also for the nighttime. I love this one, a big fan. This is $9, you can get it pretty much everywhere, and this is the shade that is definitely my favorite. For the final product in my faves X fails this month is actually a fail, and I'm sad to say that it is from Fenty. Yeah, Fenty, the brand that I just mentioned that I said Maybelline copied. Yeah, that same Fenty. And sadly, it's also in the lip gloss category. Guys, this month, I'm just not really too impressed with this Fenty Heat supposedly plumping lip gloss. Yeah, but no, it's actually not plumping at all, so I don't really get the messaging here. The color is really pretty and it's very flattering, but there's absolutely no plumping action whatsoever. And I am someone who reaches for plumping glosses a lot. I really love the Too Faced one. I really like the Buxom one, but this one, it ain't it. Sorry. I love most products from Fenty, but not everything. But I'm not gonna get rid of it because the color is really pretty, so I'm still gonna reach for it. Just don't call it plumping. Like, why would you? All right, you guys, that concludes my faves X fails for the month of June. This is the look that I came up with using my faves and not my fails. Let me know what you think of it. I think it's quite girly and quite pretty. Perhaps maybe a little too springy, but I think with the right outfit, I can make it work. I really like it. It makes me feel really good. I'm gonna go pick up my sister now so we can have a nice long weekend together. And with that said, I am going to wrap up this video so that you can check out more videos over here, a video that you may like, and my most recent video. Click it. Go ahead, do it. I see you.